I was pretty close there to saying good morning. I don't know why. I'm gonna bring up YouTube again. Our friend Horror of Spice is live. He's doing movie, a Death Wish-a-thon. I got him shared out on the community page, where they're watching Death Wish 2, which was a pretty good movie. Not as good as the first one. But then, man, I don't know how many there actually were. We should look that up. Not that it really, really matters. But it might be good to know. Let's see. Give me a second. We'll see if anyone shows up this evening. As mentioned before, Saturday, Sundays, actually the whole weekend is kind of hit and miss, and you can't predict it, and of course you can't really count on anyone at any time showing up, and that's the way it should be. What was I gonna? Oh, I was gonna look up. I love Google, by the way. How many Death Wish movies were there? I think there were some made without Charles Bronson. That shouldn't count. 5 movies. That is a lot of death wishing. I don't know if anyone should ever wish for that much death. So in the absence of friends being here, I'm just going to talk. Here's one of the things I'm going to talk about. I hadn't heard this word before. Anatheism. Anatheism is sort of like atheism recovery. Here's a AI overview. I noticed when I Google something, I've been getting AI overviews. This is really my first experiences with AI online. Laradox is here. Laradox says that he's the first. Yes, you are, my friend. This is according to artificial intelligence. According to philosopher Richard Kearney, anatheism is a spirituality of the remaindered God, a God who may be, if we let it be, a sacred promise made from the beginning of time and always still to be realized again and again. Anatheism may be understood as the after faith, which is more than a simple after thought or after effect. It is also called anatheos, or God after God. Pretty interesting. Laradox says, I do not understand that you have to respect all religions. Well, think of it this way. What convinces you that you're right and everyone else is wrong? Empress of the New Earth is here, our friend Elise. So, Elise, I'm talking about anatheism. which is a new term for me. Anatheism refers, this is from, uh, generated from artificial intelligence. But you see, that's the thing there, Docs. Everyone knows they're right. But it's all based on thoughts, and thoughts change, and everyone has different thoughts. God isn't a concept. God is before concepts. God is after concepts. What you're thinking isn't God, it's your thoughts, it's your opinion. And everyone has an opinion. Everyone has a belief. God is indifferent to your opinions, indifferent to your beliefs. So if you're sure you're right, and a Muslim is sure that they're right, and a Hindu is sure they're right, and a Buddhist is sure they're right, although by rights, Buddhism isn't really a religion. It is psychology. Same with yoga. Yoga is not a religion. Yoga is psychology, a spiritual unfolding. So anatheism refers to a moment of creative not knowing that signifies a break with former sureties and invites us to forge new meanings from the most ancient of wisdoms. Ana is a Greek word that means again, upwards, or even times return. Interesting. I love that thought of creative not knowing. The Empress of the New Earth says it is based on thoughts. That is correct. This is why the Tao Te Ching, more ancient than Christianity, more ancient than Buddhism, states in the beginning of the Tao Te Ching, the Tao that can be told is not the true Tao. The God that can be described is not the true God. It's just a collection of beliefs. So no one is attempting to talk you out of your beliefs, Laradox. However, what's being asked is to be accepting of other people's beliefs, because that's just what they are, beliefs. If I were to convince anyone of anything, or attempt to, I'd say give up all the beliefs. This is what they're talking about with, and it's just funny how I stumbled over the word today, anatheism. Creative not knowing. It signifies a break with former sureties and invites us to forge new meanings with the most ancient of wisdoms. Man, imagine if we let go of all of these concepts of God and we met in the reality of God. We met in the reality of love. How amazing would that be? Let's see, Emperor says, interesting, Eric. First time hearing that term. It was my first time too. I came across it this morning, and now I don't even remember where I came across it. Oh, I think it might have been, I'm reading a book on the dreaming. And the dreaming is an Aboriginal term, but it defies all borders. Dreaming is what allows our dreams to take place. Dreaming is what allows the world to emerge. Every ancient culture had some version of dreaming. In Tantric Yoga, it's referred to as the void. Lee says, part of my greatest healing was the releasing of concepts, old programming, and old beliefs, letting it unfold organically. Beautiful. And that's the way it happens, just letting go and letting go. How many people ever go through life and ask when they have a thought or a belief or a concept, is this true? And not only that, can you absolutely know for certain that it's true? These are the 4 questions that Katie Bryan will have you ask in her form of self-inquiry. Traditionally, self-inquiry is when we ask ourselves, who am I? Dismissing every answer. This is it's almost a form of what's called the neti meditation. Neti means not this. And you simply review Um, who am I? Everything that comes up. And you have to, sorry, I got a cramp from my burpees today. So you're going to see me squirming in place. Um, who am I? Obvious answers come to the surface. I'm Eric. That's a name. It's not even my name. It's a name someone gave me. Um, I'm a body. I'm 5'9", whatever body weight. I haven't weighed myself in a long time. Um, that's not true because that changes. I wasn't always 5'9". At some time earlier in my life, I was less than 5 feet tall. I'm obviously not my body, so we let that go. Elise says, I remember you teaching me about the void. So here's the thing, dreaming and the void, that the Aborigines talk about it, carving a flint, a spearhead, an arrowhead from a stone. And what they say is the dreaming holds the flint already in the stone. So they see it and they take away all the stuff that's not needed for the flint to be, which is very similar, very much the same as when Michelangelo was asked about how did he ever carve David out of a single block of marble. And he said David was already in the stone. He just took away everything that wasn't David. He didn't carve David, he revealed David. So imagine that. Now imagine your greatest dream that you have. It's already in the stone. It's already in the fabric of reality. So we take away everything that isn't the realization of our dream. We don't make our dreams come true. We reveal our dreams. We simply take away layer after layer. Sorry. Our friend, it is what it is here. Lewis, how are you? How'd the reps go today? I was in for a little bit. I didn't get a chance to stay the whole time. I'm trying to undo a cramp. I'm trying to undo a burpee cramp. Lewis says, I'm doing great. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining my earlier live. Have to, man. Absolutely have to. If you're doing reps, I'm going to pop in. Even if I can't stay for long, I'm going to pop in and let you know that I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about the reps and the effort. No effort like that. No effort that you do should ever go unappreciated. That's for sure. You're doing too much good work inspiring people. So, Lewis, the Empress of the New Earth is our friend Elise, who you've met. She has a new, well, she's had a channel, but now she is officially an awesome content creator. She's got some great stuff up already, and she is getting ready to release some powerful, powerful stuff on the world. This goes back to the dreaming. All of the stuff that Elise is going to do is already in the fabric, in the bedrock of reality. She just has to open up and let it loose. It takes a whole lot of pressure off because it's already there. It's already in place. This is the whole message of the Tao Te Ching, the whole message of the Bhagavad Gita, and it's also the message of in the Bible. In the Bible, when it said that, you know, it's not our will, it's God's will. In the Bhagavad Gita, it says that we aren't the doer. It's God, the universe, reality, life, doing through us, the same as in the Tao Te Ching. Lisa says, working on my videos this evening. Awesome. And she says, thank you. You're welcome. Man, I definitely see it. I see big things. So, guys, get in on the ground floor, and check out Elisa's channel. All you guys with wrenches, I got to be honest with you. These days, I think every single person on YouTube has a wrench on my channel. Our friend Night Watcher said, Eric, you shouldn't be giving out wrenches willy-nilly, which is an excellent point, and Elise mentioned the same thing. I got to be honest, man. My entire life has been willy-nilly. So, I'm taking a scattergun approach to the conversation, which I think might be the most fun of all. My friend David Parrish, Facebook friend, not a friend, we don't hang out. I have his books. I've been in a meeting or two with him online. And he was just talking, I was listening to one of his talks about the spontaneous nature of these conversations. He never knows what he's going to say. So he's just as surprised and engrossed in the conversation as everyone else. And I've really seen my own approach to YouTube on these live streams being much the same. What I like doing is, of course, I might come here with my own agenda, but that is quickly put aside when I get some really awesome comments from friends. Elise says, you are a wrench giver at heart. I am a wrench giver. And Elise is doing modified burpees tonight. Awesome. You hear that? It is what it is. Modified burpees. Every kind of burpee is a good burpee. If you need some inspiration, go check out. It is what it is. Doesn't get the nickname the champ by accident. Let's see. It is what it is says, have I ever done the Holy Grail? I haven't. I think the most I've done is like 700, and it was sort of on a whim. I used to do Pelican Bay once a month, 500, working from 30 down and then finishing off with 65. But then I got really caught up in the busy dad approach, and I stopped doing really long sessions, which I miss. Now, I used to do a lot of finishers where I would do a 20-minute busy dad session and then keep going and get 500 reps. Sort of fell by the wayside. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Murkoch? I'm almost 100% positive I'm saying that wrong. So let me say, since I'm saying it wrong, that I apologize for saying it wrong, for mispronouncing it. It is what it is, says he agrees. UK Medic has been burping, but no burpees. You know what? If you've been doing it for repetitions, we're going to count it. Like if you do one burp every 30 seconds for, I don't know, it's going to have to be a certain length of time. Medic says it was a garlic and herb bread that did it. Yeah, it'll do it every time. But I said the devil made me do it. Man, the devil gets blamed for everything, doesn't he? Mark OK? Mark Ock? I don't know. I'm looking at it in larger print. And I'm looking at your channel. Looks like a really nice channel, my friend. It is what it is, says. It's okay, Medic. I did enough burps for everyone today. Actually, the last couple weeks. Last couple weekends, you've been putting in some marathon sessions. Medic says, I can manage one burp every 5 seconds. That's impressive. There should be some type of competition. You should definitely get some sort of burpathon medal for that. So Katie Bryan and her form of self-inquiry, very simple. 4 questions. Anyone who is engrossed in their belief system would really benefit from asking these 4 questions. Even if it's something that you feel is working for you, it's always good to, I don't know, allow things to be more porous, that knowing that there's always a greater reality than whatever limited view, and every view we have is going to be limited in the face of reality, in the face of the universe itself. Any one small concept in our head is never going to have the whole picture. So Katie Bryan says to ask, is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? Not a shadow of a doubt, not even a slim. Some people say yes to both. If you were to ask a fundamentalist Christian, are your beliefs true? They would say yes. Can you absolutely know that it's true? They would say yes. However, they can't absolutely know. So that's when you go on to 3. How do you react? What happens when you believe that thought, that it's true? And if they're honest, they realize how limited holding that thought is. It shuts every other voice out. Everyone else is wrong. Only me and those who think like me hold the truth. And how small is that? Only me and the people who think like me. And even if you think like me, you have to think like me all the time. If you step off the reservation, we're either going to herd you back in or we're going to kick you out. The best thing that can happen to you, get kicked out. Leave it. Leave the reservation. Leave the tribe. Here's the best one. Question 4. Who would you, and you could do this even if you're 100% sure of all your thoughts, who would you be without that thought? If you believed, if you were, I'm just using, you could be a fundamentalist, anything. Who would you be if you didn't have that thought? For me, it's pretty easy when I ask myself that. Even if I do it politically, who would I be without the thought that I'm this political party? I'd be pretty open. It means that I wouldn't be so sure that my opinions are 100% right and yours are wrong. It's a freeing concept. Medic says, I had to ask what day it was. A guy said, people who have jobs know what day it is. This is true. As being, semi-retired myself, I am constantly days off. Thinking that it's a Wednesday when it's a Saturday. Lee says, profound teaching, my friend. Needed to hear this. UK Medic says, I believe if I feel it in my heart to be true. That's interesting because in so many traditions, most especially in the yogic non-duality tradition, they talk about the heart center. The heart center is different than a heart chakra. Chakra is an energy center. The heart center is the dewdrop of reality within the field of existence. That when we tune into that heart center, that's the place of unconditional love. That's where we get the true answer. But so often we delude ourselves. One, we don't turn into the heart center. We turn to our thoughts, convinced that every thought that we have them is true just because we have them, and that every thought that this person has isn't true just because you don't have them. How arrogant is that when you think about it? My thoughts are superior to yours because I have them. When in truth, you're not even the thinker. We don't originate thoughts. Neurologists have shown that even the thought of lifting my arm was lifting before I even had that thought. But the appearance of the thought seems to come after. It's a neurological process that I don't understand. I don't even understand the explanation of it, but it's fascinating to think about. It's why in neuro-linguistic programming, don't ask me to say that again, they say the map is not the territory, or the menu is not the meal. The thought is not the thing. My thought of a tree isn't a tree. I can think water all day long and it's never going to satisfy my thirst. The thought of water isn't the reality of water. You only know the reality of water by wetness. I was going to say by moisture. For some reason, some people don't like that word moist. So I don't use it in that analogy. This is also why I think maybe Medic might know this. I can't remember and Scroll Sniper would certainly know. Who was it that said, Greek philosopher, that you can't get wet? You can't step in the same river twice. River is always different. We can liken that river to truth. It's always changing. It's always different. It's always in the infinite nature of reality. Who are we to say, this is it? This is the way it is. Do some Googling here. Heraclitus is the one who said, you cannot step into the same river twice. Medic says, and grass is only green because someone told you it was. This is true. And not only that, it's not even really green. That I actually wrote about that, and I had to do a little bit of research just maybe 3 or 4 days ago. That green is the reflection brought forth from, I think, yellow and red. I don't remember. I could look that up too. From the chlorophyll as the sun hits it, and it reflects the color green. So we're not even really seeing green. So what's reality? Is reality the greenness of trees right now? Or is it the mixture of colors in the chlorophyll being reflected by the sun? Or is it everything? Since I see green, there's a certain green reality there. But since green doesn't exist in the leaf itself, there's the absence of green in reality right now. Emperor says, there you go. Keaton says, hi. Hey, tell Keaton I said hi. Medic says the sky is not blue. The sky is all the colors of the rainbow, but our eyes only see that when their filter is removed. Awesome example. So again, what's reality? The blue sky or the absence of the blue sky? And the answer in Zen would be yes. Being able to accept the paradox, being able to accept all of the above. That was my go-to answer in every exam I've ever taken, all of the above. And if there wasn't a place to do a check mark, I would write it in, all of the above. You can't argue with paradox. Medic says reality is what you perceive it to be. It is what you perceive it to be, and it's also greater than we can possibly perceive at the same time. And that's the paradox. That's the having that ability to live in that realization that we're perceiving an aspect of reality, but not all of reality. That we're limited by our perceptions, by our senses, but that we are not limited by our senses, if that makes sense. So that's why, with what Medic said above, believing in the heart, it's that heart center that by its very nature, according to the Vedic scriptures, is the seed of ultimate reality itself. So when you turn to the heart center, that place of unconditional love, unconditional knowingness, unconditional acceptance, it's beyond knowing. It's just is. You don't need to know. It just is. The isness. At least says it really is. Recreate our reality. As above, so below. And of course, to a large extent, our reality is created for us by our parents, by teachers, by the media, by books that we've read or read or chosen to read, by the news that we watch. All of that creates reality, but it's not reality itself. It just creates our conception of reality. Because if you would take that same person and give them different parents, what would their reality be? Not that I'm blaming everything on our parents, or teachers, or clergy, because we're all given the opportunity to set ourselves free just by asking those important questions. Is it true? Just because I'm thinking it, is it true? Just because I'm perceiving it, is it true? I perceive this desk to be solid. I stub my toe on it 4 or 5 times a week. That's perception. I'm banging on it right now. However, if I were to perceive it in an atomic telescope, I would see that it's 99.9 emptiness, particles dancing in space. It would be a different perception, and it would be just as real. And yet somehow I would still stub my toe on a particle. Medic says, when I was a child, I asked my friends' parents who were deeply religious, where did God come from? And they replied, he's always been there, but we can't comprehend the idea as we believe all has a beginning. That's a really good answer. Actually has a Zen-like quality to it. However, a lot of deeply religious people, if you were to say, well, that has a Zen-like quality, they'd say, you take that back. It certainly does not. I like that answer. This is why in Vedic philosophy, they say they don't dispute the Big Bang, but they say it's always been Big Banging. There's never been just a Big Bang. That Brahma, reality, the void, nothingness, breathes the universe into existence. The exhalation, on the inhalation, the universe goes out of existence. The breath of God. So we could actually call it less of a Big Bang and more of a big whoosh, which to me has a more poetic sound to it. And yet, even that is just a description. There's a story told by Anthony de Mello, who was a Jesuit priest, but East Indian and Hindu born, had a yogic background, used a lot of Buddhist metaphors as well. It's a great teacher, and didn't make him very popular with his Christian superiors. Being a Jesuit priest, they didn't like using teachings from other religions or philosophical schools. But one of the stories that he told was that once, as we were kids, and we would look up to the sky and we would see this magical creature soaring through the air, darting around, catching insects. We were totally fascinated with it. And some well-meaning adult came by and said, it's a sparrow. And the magic was lost. We no longer saw this magical soaring creature. We saw a label. We saw a sparrow. So who was it? Which philosopher? My fallback philosopher is Kierkegaard, for no reason other than I remember the name Kierkegaard. I will look it up in a minute. Once you label me, you negate me. This is why our friend Therodox came in his very first time and announced that he's a Christian and a conservative. Firm stance right off the bat, as if expecting an argument, which he didn't get. I'm perfectly fine with you being a Christian and a conservative. And then he asked, what was I? And I said, I don't have a label. Let's see. Elise says, I'm really interested in learning about the Akashic records. Yeah, it's a fascinating subject. And has some quantum physicists backing. Deepak Chopra gave a little talk on YouTube that you can look up. Medic says, my video, you're amazing. I quote, a man may not fear death from a life well lived. Awesome. And I agree. I like how the Sufis say, die when you're still alive and you won't die, because you'll be free of the concept of death. Hey, Elise, are you subscribed to Medic? Wonderful channel. Monster marathon live streams. And I've said it over and over and over again. In my opinion, the very best nature videos on YouTube. Lee says, I also tell people the same thing. I do not have a label. So let's look up that philosopher. I said Kierkegaard, and it is Kierkegaard. Here's the funny thing. If you keep saying Kierkegaard, sooner or later, you're going to be correct. Sooner or later, it's going to be Kierkegaard. Once you label me, you negate me. If I were to say, when our friend Laradox came in, that I'm a liberal atheist, one, I would have given myself a label that's not true. And two, he would only view me from then on. We would be at odds in every conversation. It would be the Christian fundamentalist, conservative, versus the liberal atheist. If you viewed my voting record, it's easy for someone to give me that label. I think it's hard for someone to give me the label of an atheist when it's just that my concept of God is one of reality and not one of I don't even want to say my concept of God, my experience of God. Burner Boy says, death would be an awful big adventure. Peter Pan. You can't go wrong by quoting Peter Pan, I've found, in life. Peter Pan, man, a very dark, dark tale that was Disneyfied to death almost. Medic says, I can't get over Masha telling everyone I'm one of the top YouTube creators. I think that's overselling, but a great compliment. It is an awesome compliment, and I don't think it's an overstatement at all. Here's the amazing thing, what I really like about your content. It's edited to perfection, and yet retains, when you view it, the sense of innocence in nature. You know what I mean? Some things, and you mentioned this before, you replied on one of my videos about sometimes leaving things raw. You have this wonderful sense of it still being raw, still being in nature, and yet edited to perfection. That's a rare talent. It's a rare trait. And you know what inspires me when I view your wildlife videos, it isn't to say, I want to do this. I want to get my videos to look like Medic's, because for one, I don't think I definitely don't have the skill or the technical patience or the passion for the editing, but it inspires me to be my best in my lane, if that makes sense. That I take inspiration from your excellence to be my version of my own excellence on my channel. Let's see. Lee says, Medic, how far back is your video? You are amazing. And Medic has a wrench. I only ask, don't run with the wrench in your hand. You can easily put an eye out. Runner Boy, how are your watch hours? I've been trying to go through a bit of your playlist every day. Medic will be back. He's going to drop the link. Funny thing, I mentioned coming in Saturdays. I never know how Saturday's live session, Saturday evening, afternoon for some people, or late for others. I never know how it's going to be, being Saturday. Family time for some, going out and partying for some. Used to be going out and partying for me. Um, but however, however it unfolds is absolutely perfect. Like sometimes there's a lot of hustle and bustle in the chat. People coming in, um, conversation going back and forth. I fall behind. And then other times I just have a few people, and it feels absolutely perfect as well. That just more intimate. Get a chance to truly dive into some deep topics. Oh, and Runnerboy, did you get your drone? So I did mention our friend Horror of Spice is live right now. I shared him out. He's on my community page. Um, that's our friend Vincent. He's doing a Death Wish-a-thon. Watching Death Wish 2. Charles Bronson. There's actually been 5 death wishes with Charles Bronson. That is a lot of wishing for death. All right, Medic is back, and there's the link. So I have here's something I learned live streaming. Here's something I learned about my fingers. I can't click on anything on my phone during a live stream, or I will totally disconnect the entire thing. Everything will just, I think the word coming to mind is discombobulate. But I also have it up and running on my desktop. And on my desktop, I can click on anything. So right now I have it up. I'm not going to play it out loud. I'm going to play the whole thing again. I have it running. I'm going to play the whole thing with the sound off because I don't want Medic to sue me for copyright infringement. Let's see. And then I'll watch the whole thing again before bed. UK Medic says anyone who threatens me must have a death wish. As well, anyone who attempts to break into your car while you're holding a mag light must have a death wish. Medic says, I heard a cop use the term cattywampus. I like that to describe when things go wrong. Yeah, that pretty much captures everything. Sooner or later, if I keep touching anything electronic, it is going to go totally cattywampus on me. So, yep, if you guys are cruising around the YouTube streets, you can check out Vincent, Horror of Spice. It's a good friend. Always appreciate when he comes here. We're going to see if anyone else is live real quick. If I'm live and someone else is live, obviously I don't have time, to interact with them, but I do like to say hi and keep them up and running so that we get a chance to give out some watch hours. Reaper says, can I have one of your books? Yes, you can. I don't know if you can spot any that catches your eyes. What I could do, and I'm going to be 100% sincere. I'm almost, even when I'm joking, I'm almost always 100% sincere. If you, on a comment, leave an address, P.O. Box might be safest, but I would delete it right after I got it. I would actually pick out a book that, for whatever reason, let my hand stop on it and say, this is a Reaper book, and I would send it to you. And I got a pretty good selection. That's just a few. I got another shelf over here, and then I got a room next door that is just piles and piles. And again over there, and this is just the upper floor. The other two floors are exactly the same. Books are definitely meant to be shared, given away. Having said that, and you see the book hoarding that I'm actually doing. Empress says, I have all of your books on my table right now. I appreciate that. She says the ones that you wrote. I got a couple laying around here. Sorry, cat. Hey. I got Celebration of Spirit, Eric McCarty. I think that was written in 2000. I Am This Close. Thousand Thighs. This was my first book. Actually, I believe I wrote it in 98. But it was published in 2000. Does God Have a Hero? Meditations for Compassionate Living. When I wrote this, I didn't know how to type. And I got one of those speak typers where this is in the early days of computer technology, where you would speak into it, you recite it, and then it would literally type on the screen. And I remember reading the title to get started. Does God Have a Hero? Meditations for Compassionate Living. And it came out on the paper. Do goats eat gyros? Two old men taking medication by the river. Which might be a good book, but it's not the book that I wrote. So I realized then and there that I took typing in school, obviously, but I had never typed since. I realized that I needed to relearn how to type as soon as that happened. So Reaper, I would send you either one of my books that I wrote, or I would send you a book from the shelf. Not only that, I would send you a sandwich, so that you wouldn't have to come over to my house for dinner. We would share an online sandwich. We'd have lunch together. So sometimes, as I was mentioning, a quiet night on YouTube is the perfect live stream experience. You get a great conversation with a few people, and you get some funny friends, dropping by to make us smile. It's a little more of a relaxed pace. I'm definitely not falling behind tonight. Elise says, like the idea of an online sandwich. I like the idea of sandwiches. When you think about it, what a handy thing. You know, it used to be we just carried around a thing of meat in our hand. And then somebody said, hey, why don't you put that between two pieces of bread? No one had ever thought of that before. Medic says, when I edit my nature videos, I do it from the animal's perspective of how I believe they would like to be viewed. That's an awesome way to think about it. For me, when I'm filming my videos, I like to think that, especially the ones that I do so early in the morning when no one else is up, that from this perspective, what I'm seeing, how I'm seeing it, there is not a single being in the entire universe right here in this spot seeing what I'm seeing from my angle, from my perspective, from my viewpoint. And I get to have the privilege of capturing it and then sharing it with people. And in that case, when I do that, absolutely nothing can be wrong. How can it be wrong? It can only be wrong if it was viewed from someone else's perspective. And since no one else was there, then it's absolutely perfect. And I also take the thought from the Bhagavad Gita, where they talk about where Krishna gives advice to Arjuna and says, you have the right to your actions, but not to the fruit of your actions. Meaning, I have the right to be in nature and to film nature and to share that clip. But after that, once I hit the publish, post button, it no longer belongs to me. I don't have anything to do with it. It might get one view. It might get a couple thousand. I think the most views I've ever gotten on a short was 6,000. And that was for the little tiny house sparrow wrestling with the duck leaf. Medic says, my grandfather used to say, if we had some ham, we could have ham and eggs and chips if we had some eggs. It was a wiser generation back then. People don't give out that wisdom anymore. Lee says, Eric, I like the pace tonight. I do too. Definitely get to share a bit more. And, I do like the busier. And I do even like falling behind just a little bit. Because, as I mentioned, I like every comment having the potential of an entire conversation. But I do understand also that it can be frustrating. So I'm working on threading that line of, riffing on whatever comment comes up, and at the same time moving on so that I can keep doing that for other comments and keep the entire conversation rolling along. As Goldie pointed out, by the time I answer one thing, nobody really knows what I'm talking about, because the conversation has moved on so far. which is an excellent point. So I'm looking for the best of both worlds. Elise says, you're doing a great job, my friend. Well, thank you for that. Medic says, you can push a delay on a chat so you can keep up. Well, that I didn't know. That's amazing, but it also means I have to push a button. Does that, Medic, do you do that? Does it interrupt the flow of the conversation? I like to think that people enjoy the conversation among themselves too, and that I'm just, I'm background noise sometimes. Medic says you can set it up so people can only type every 30 seconds. Oh, wow. That might change everything. And I can do that beforehand, so I don't have to try to do something like that. While everyone's talking, because then I know I'd mess things up. That's a handy little trick. Give that a try. Usually it seems the afternoon conversations are the ones that are the most like free-for-all. He said that's cool. Yeah, it is cool. And Medic says, yes, you set it up before you go live. Awesome. So I think, yeah, actually tomorrow I'm going to give that a shot. And I'm not going to tell anyone. It's only going to be between us. Everyone's going to be thinking, man, Eric is on top of things. Look at him go. He's right in line with the entire conversation. Didn't fall behind once. Medic says it also stops people from spamming the chat. That would be a good thing. Hey, our friend Jacob is here. Jacob says, hey, Eric, I'm enjoying the burpees and nature you share with us all. Salute. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate that. What I lack in burpee excellence, I make up for with consistency. 860 some days in a row of doing burpees. Jacob has a great training channel. He's putting the reps in every day, going for runs. Definitely check him out. Definitely check his channel out. Subscribe. Support. At least says it will be between us. Medic says yes, it's a secret right here. It's right here on social media. Well, here's the thing. No one's going to think that I'm bright enough, technically speaking, to be able to do that. So they'll think that it's, that I must be doing something special. Everyone says hi to Jacob. Jacob gives a salute to everyone. Thank you, my friend. And I really appreciate you stopping by on live session. Live stream, as the young people say. I'm wondering if our friend Duncan Walsh is going to pop in, as I did his workout suggestion today. Much to my physical and mental regret. Nothing, nothing ever good. You'll notice, uh, keen observers. Duncan will come in all casually, and will make nice, polite conversation. Um, Duncan, like our friend UK Medic, is British, so every conversation starts out nice and polite. And then somewhere along the line, he'll say, Eric, have you ever considered dot, dot, dot? And then you don't hear from him for a while. And you know he's planning something really, really awful that he's going to put out there very casually, but with an edge of a dare. Like, I don't think you're really going to try this. I don't think you're up for the challenge. Um, but if you think you are, doesn't come out and say that. He's way too polite to come out and say that. But it's there, that hidden edge of, I don't think you're going to try it, knowing full well, now I got to try it. And it's never pleasant, not even once, which is his thing. This is why Duncan Walsh is a master trainer, because he knows how to bring out the best. Even a mere suggestion, try this, and it brings out the best in you. Jacob says, anytime. Thank you, Jacob. I have shared Jacob out on my community page before. I'll do so again. Always appreciate those guys who put in those strong, consistent reps, day after day after day. So I'll probably hang out for about 10 more minutes or so. Might call it an early night. The last couple nights, I've hit the 2-hour mark, which is a pretty long live stream for me. I wouldn't mind doing something longer sometime. I'd have to block it out. Block that time out. Nowhere near the 8-hour marathon live streams that our friend Medic does, or the 3 or 4 hours, almost on a daily basis through the week, our friend Masha, Mayhem and Miracles. Speaking of which, Mayhem and Miracles, Elise, you've been here when Masha has been on, I believe. This is a place to go to grow your channel. I've mentioned before, I've been on other sites that I very much appreciate for growing my channel, but it was only when I started visiting Masha that I made connections. That I made, not only, my friend Smitty and Tokyo, they have great gaming channels. If it wasn't for them, I never would have appreciated gaming for what it is. Absolutely amazing channels. I love sharing them out as well. They deserve so much success for really redefining what a gaming channel is. It's just like hanging out with your friends playing video games the way you used to, except the way I used to was playing Atari Pong, having the paddle, hitting it back and forth. So it's, a little different, but it's like hanging out with your friends playing video games. Really great channels. But at the same time, the connections that I made from, and Medic being one, that's what counts. It's developing relationships, friendships. That's when your channel takes off, because they have your back. They're invested in helping you out. And no one invests more than Masha. For no other reason than she wants to help you. Jacob says, thank you, brother. I tried to. Just got to get out there and do it. That's true. And that's a great message. Just get out and do it. Reps don't need to be pretty. They don't need to be perfect. Um, our friend Elise, Empress of the New Earth, is going to be doing her modified burpees coming up. That's what counts. And you know what? You can't do burpees? Take a walk. Some kind of motion. So Medic very kindly dropped the link for Masha. And yeah, you just go, and at least you're such a giving person that you'll I just see you helping so many people and all of it coming back. That's the wonderful thing. It's this circle of care. So anyone who's looking, I get slightly hesitant recommending her to too many people, some in a larger chat, because I don't want anyone who might not. I don't want anyone who doesn't want to make a connection go there. But I definitely know at least would fit right in. Medic says I've been doing shout out videos from the outset, and that's how I grew from 0 to 5K in under 2 years by supporting others. That's an amazing way to do it, and not to mention that it just feels better being of service. Basically, I think that's what my entire live stream is, to moderate degrees of success, just hoping to be of service to people. I'm not a connecting type channel like Masha, or gain subscribers like James Skype. Those guys are just too good at what they do. I'm just maybe I should change my title. Just a yogi in his office talking a lot about whatever. Elise says, "Oh, great! I would certainly check her out." Thanks, Medic. Yeah, you will. She, one of the first times there, not the very first, but soon, I remember her saying a couple of things that changed everything for me. 1 second, I'll get right back to that. And Jacob says, helping others is what brings others together. That is right, UK Medic. Definitely so. And that's why, Jacob, when he begins his reps, talks to people, addresses people, welcomes them in. It's the burpee channel is all about helping other people do burpees, getting other people in shape. Medic says, I'm happy to help anyone who needs it. I've created channel intros and banners for people. That's awesome. I remember Masha saying that people, especially people who come for the first few times, will gain just coming in and participating and liking other channels and leaving a comment. They'll gain 5 or 10 subscribers each visit. And that was 100% true for me. And the quality of the subscribers speaks for itself. And I'm pointing at UK Medic as an example for that, and Goldie as an example of that, and Masha herself is an example for that. She also told me that she got her watch hours before she got 1,000 subscribers, which I found amazing. And I asked her how she did that. And she said, doing live streams, just coming and talking, no matter who showed up. And I was doing 20-minute live streams, sometimes half an hour. And I was also doing Instagram talk. And after she told me that, I doubled up on my time, and I stopped the Instagram. Not that I didn't like it, but it was just priorities. Let me go back here, guys. And I started doing doubling my time, doing 2 live streams a day, and I went from when I started 1,394 watch hours. This wasn't all that long ago, and as of today, I was 2,994 with 5 days in the tank, meaning it's only counted up to May 13th. So I'm over 3,000, edging towards that 4. And the other thing, the last thing from Asha was relaxing, just doing the live stream, just talking, putting stuff out there. Medic says, as you know, I'm very shy, hence I don't go live very often. I noticed how shy for that entire 8 hours, the entire 8 hours of shyness. He kept looking down and he kept kicking the ground. So yeah, at least Mayhem or Miracles will do a live session, and you just pop in, introduce yourself, let her know that you're a friend of Jesse Yogi doing burpees in his basement. Well, maybe that's not a good idea. No, just joking about that. Let her know, and click on the links that she'll provide of other people, and you make connections. Medic says more of a content creator than a live streamer. I think, although I absolutely love doing burpee videos, is unless you're one of the top people in the game, which I'm not. You're only going to gain so many subscribers. I think there's a top off place. Some people who have quite a big number of subscribers, but it's not going to be me doing burpees. So I think that I am geared more towards being a live streamer, but I love putting out the content of the nature videos, the nature shorts. Absolutely love that. It opened up a whole new art medium for me to pursue. Also sharing my writing on my wall. And I was making some readings of me, some videos of me reading my stuff. I need to get back to doing that. Elise says that she will check her out. Awesome. I just see, man, at least I see your channel being huge. I think you're going to be one of the big ones. Elise says I'm shy as well. Actually, me too. You wouldn't know it by me doing live streams every day and saying, hey guys, come check me out. Look at me, guys. I'm live. Medic says, well, hopefully you will enjoy my content. I can't see how she wouldn't. Honestly, I can't see how anyone wouldn't. As I mentioned before, I'll keep saying it. It is the best nature videos on YouTube. because it's the combination. It's your unique perspective. It's your unparalleled editing skills. Um, all of that combined. So I learned something extremely valuable about the 30-second live stream pause. Almost a year. In July, it'll be a year of doing live streams. And it never came up in a conversation. Elise says, I absolutely will enjoy it. Look forward to it. Yeah, you get lost over there. You dive into one nature video after the other, as well as a lot of other interesting stuff. Some old-time car videos, air show videos, tours of places. Medic says, I try to put my joy for life into my videos. It definitely shows. And that's no small thing, because it rubs off on people. So, I think we're going to shut things down for the evening. I'm going to try to get to bed a little bit early. Won't do another 2-hour session. Appreciate you all being here. Everyone who stopped by, everyone who stayed. So, yep, I was hanging out just a little bit more to see if our friend Duncan came in. Elise says, Medic, I just saw your scenic view video. Wow. Yeah, exactly. You're going to be saying wow a lot, Elise. Medic says, take care all, and may your God go with you. You as well, my friend. Thank you for that. Jacob says, I'm your new subscriber, Empress of the New Earth. Awesome. Thank you for that, Jacob. And you guys definitely check out Jacob. You will be inspired. And Jacob, don't forget our friend UK Medic. You won't regret that at all. You'll be diving into those nature videos. Appreciate you guys, and appreciate the connections that we do get to make. That's what it's all about. As both Jacob and Medic said, all about serving others. Medic has dropped, I'm going to leave things up just for a minute. Medic has dropped Jacob's link, so guys, definitely check him out. And hey, I need to give a shout out to our friend Brian Lane, because it was Brian Lane who said, hey, there's a hardcore burpee guy in town and you got to check him out. And that was Jacob, and he wasn't wrong about that. I like how my communities come together. You know, my interest here, my interest here, my interest here, and then everyone just sort of seamlessly, it's all seamlessly shared. It comes down to it, there's really only one community. And as, again, both Jacob and Medic talked of, and how I've been witness for 20 plus years with my friend, Elise, Empress of the New Earth. She has lived it. I've had the pleasure, the privilege of watching Elise be of service over and over and over again for others, and most definitely for me. Always appreciated. Elise says, me too. I love the way your communities merge beautifully. Thank you for that. So, guys, I hope you're hooked up with Jacob. Very much appreciated, guys. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. I do my 5 a.m. Bhagavad Gita reading for another few days, and then we're going to move on, I think, to the Shiva Sutras. We'll see. Runner Boy, thanks for coming by. I'm looking forward to your live stream on Monday, I believe. Speaking of subscribing, guys, check out Runner Boy. One of the best training channels on YouTube, by far. Definitely, I think, the best voiceovers. I love training videos with a voiceover. Jacob says, there you go, Medic. I'm on your new subscribers as well. Awesome. So, guys, take care. I'll see everyone tomorrow.